Lawson.
The whole field.
Point in the race, it was too wide or single file, and all of a sudden chaos.
We're still rolling, but we got damage.
Tim's done.
Look at Noah Gregson.
Front and rear toe
Bowman's involved. Truex gets going again. Ty Gibbs in the 54. And Corey LaJoie, who was having such a great run.
All the tires are down.
Hamlin. Bad week for the 11. The points penalty and now an accident early. Let's see what happens, Jeff.
Oh, Noah. No, I don't know if Noah's getting pushed and lost control, then he goes to the left. That's what it looked like to me. He just immediately shot to the left. Here you go. Being a big pushback from Corey right here. Shoves him to the left. He has to correct it. Then he comes back across the racetrack in front of Corey.
Hamlin's done. You see the toe link broke on his car.
And that's what we talked about earlier. You can push and you can shove, but when you don't do it correctly and you get it wrong just by a little bit, you mistime it, this is what happens. Here you go. Watch the 7, the 10, the 1. The 10 is against the 1. The 7 starts pushing him. There's nowhere for the 10 to go.
Against the 51. Not the 1, the 51.
There was about 10 cars involved in that. As we are midway through stage 2, and it's happened. To the 11 team, where a loss of driver and playoff points, and now his problems are compounded by this crash where there was at least 18 cars involved.
Let's watch it again. So the 7 of Corey LaJoie, he gets to the 10. Push there is fine, but now there's nowhere for him to go. And when he pushed him, he got into the right rear quarter panel, the car underneath him. He had to turn back to the right. The 7 was there. Big mess. Right there he turns. There's definitely some damage here, guys. But I'm surprised more cars didn't get this wreck. It's very fortunate they didn't.
Find out more in the aftermath of this. Let's kick it off with Marty Snyder. Marty?
The unpredictability Lee of Daytona strikes again. Ross Chastain came in +1 above the cut line, and now they have a damaged race car. Phil Surgeon told us, guys, we cannot go down a second lap, so time very limited here to work on the car, and they're worried about the front splitter.
Well, you can see it sparking right there as it drags the racetrack. It's going to be very hard for the 1 to get to minimum speed. That's what's required to get yourself off the damaged vehicle policy. And now this, for the front of the field, is a straight-up call. Everybody will come to pit road and fill up with fuel. 33 laps to go, so inside a window, Marty.
And Joey Logano comes to pit road. An important note for the 22 team. With Denny Hamlin out of the race, they now have a clear opening out. Fuel only handling better, Parker.
For Austin Cindric, who pits from the 5th position, very happy that race car fuel only. Biggest pump, then they have no internet on their box. They're not able to get info.
Bottom left, Chris Buescher looking to defend his win. Fuel only also for Buescher, Dave.
No tires ready for the leader, Bubba Wallace. He just gets some fuel and he's out of here.
Buescher only went out there.
Good stop from Keselowski, who raced him off. Here is the race off pit road. Buescher gains 1, his teammate gains 1. Wallace lost 3, and it's not a great story for the 9 Napa Chevy of Chase Elliott. He's behind the wall. Back in a moment.
I don't see there's nothing wrong with his car, but okay.
And then the 7's up into the back of the 10. Sometimes when you're too close, you can't get out of that pocket. There's a pocket there that the car doesn't have much resistance. And then you just stay on the guy in front of you. And I think that could potentially be what happened to Corey there.
Yeah, it's really easy to say, why didn't he just back out and give the guy some room? But that's a great explanation there. I'll tell you one takeaway that I had from that. I saw Kyle Busch was just far enough in front of that to not get caught up. So with all the bad luck and a fast that he's had before, now he's got a fast race car. Opportunity might be lurking for him.
Well, it could be changing for him. I know he's hopeful it really is the case.
This is Ross Chastain's view.
Had right in front
The
of
view he
him. Right
did
behind
not want to
Cowboy.
have when he's trying to lock himself into the playoffs.
Yeah, I've been watching the repairs on this car. He's the first driver below the cut line currently.
In your view, what happened, Chase?
No, and I haven't seen it either. But I saw smoke, and I was so far back in the pack at that point. I was just trying to get slowed down, and then hope nobody hit me from behind. And unfortunately, neither one of those things happened. So just a bummer, hate it. But yeah, we were really just riding. I think everybody was just trying to get to the stage and put yourself in a good position for that pit stop. And I think that's where kind of all the games had originated. But definitely a bummer. I hate it for everybody involved. Obviously going to have to go and have a really good week next week. But we've been pretty lucky these last few plate races. So we were overdue, unfortunately. We had to serve our time.
And Lee, it's amazing how quickly his mindset shifts to Darlington next week. Again, still in the fight for the regular season title.
Yeah, Lee, not only that, but how quickly the strategy of all these drivers changed with so many cars lining up single file because they were penalty cars. They had you at the back of the pack. That killed the energy of that bottom lane. Then it became a worry to be on the bottom because you would lose the draft. Everybody recognized it, immediately got to the top to make sure they didn't be the one that was the first one not in the top. And look how it's changed the complexion.
And announced a third entry in the Cup Series for next year, and the 35-year-old Kiwi will be racing full-time in Cup. A career dream come true.
Absolutely. Every time I talk to him, he talks about just how humbling the ovals in NASCAR basically is to his career and his accolades. And I remind him, I said, well, the good news is you get to show up at a handful of road courses that kind of humble everyone else. His raw speed at the road courses cannot be denied. He's going to now take it full-time Cup racing.
Kim, it didn't go his way last night in the Xfinity